After Bilal pulled out of his title defense fight against Shavkat back in December, and then Shavkat getting injured this year, the welterweight division has been on a stalemate with no championship fight since July of last year. But finally, after a little under a year, we will see potentially a new champion in the division, or the current champion's first title defense. That is the main event for UFC 315 this upcoming Saturday. We have semi-decent card with some interesting matchups, and another title fight in the women's flyweight division. But anyway, today we'll be breaking down and going over all the fights in this card, starting with the early prelims and working our way to the main event of the evening. But without wasting any more time, we will mosey into our first fight. Brad Katona is on his second UFC run after being cut back in 2019. He went back into the regional scene and picked up 4 wins in a row to earn a chance to earn a contract. He beat Cody Gibson to earn his second UFC contract. And man, this guy is not the best UFC fighter, and I don't think he can beat Almacan, bro. Man, this kid went on a tear in the regional scene, only losing 1 fight back in 2020. And then Almacan had a tough and crazy UFC debut against Umar Nurmagomedov, where he got dominated everywhere. Where I mean, besides that nasty right hand that knocked down Umar, he just wasn't able to finish him. Umar is just that good. But both of these guys are going to be hungry for a win. On one hand, one is going to want to win to keep his contract, and the other one wants to prove that he is UFC worthy after a tough loss. But for this fight, I think I got the younger and more explosive fighter in Begsa Almacan. Alright, but anyway, we got the next fight. We got Daniel Santos picking up a short notice fight against Li Zhongyang, who's coming off a loss to Emil, where he got TKO'd in just over a minute, where he got brutally mauled. This guy's a very fast striker, but also very well-rounded. He's got some decent wrestling as well, and he will pressure you and set a very high pace, but his gassing worries me a little bit in this fight though. On the other hand, we got Daniel Santos coming off a 2-fight win streak. He won one by unanimous decision. That was his most recent one, and then he got another KO/TKO win before that. The thing though is that he hasn't been active for 2 years, and that's the thing that worries me about this guy. But regardless, this guy's also very fast on the feet, and he will mix his strikes with kicks, punches, and he will put all those to use with his aggressiveness and the crazy pressure that this guy has. This is a tough fight to pick a fighter, man. Both on the betting books and stylistically, this fight is close, but I think Lee is going to be able to win this, probably by a close decision. But yeah, moving on for our next fight, we got Marc-Andre Barriault versus Bruno Silva. We got 2 older guys who are rapidly regressing, with both of them being on fight losing streaks. Starting with MAB, he's mostly a striker with some okay ground game. This guy will thrive in crazy and messy exchanges, and also has a good gas tank. On the other hand, Bruno Silva is also a striker. He is very explosive and very durable. I don't think he's ever been knocked out in his career, but his weakness is probably his grappling. This guy has got submitted so many times. But with that being said, I don't think this fight will go to the ground though. I think it's going to stay on the feet, because Marc-Andre isn't a submission artist, and like I said, he does have good wrestling, but I don't think he's gonna want to use that in this fight. But anyway, for my pick, I think I got Barriault to win this one. He's gonna want to win this fight, especially because it's gonna be in Canada, his home country. He's gonna have the home crowd advantage. I know sometimes that's not what really decides a fight, but he's gonna have the whole crowd cheering him up, and that's why I think he'll win, and it's probably gonna be a decision win. But yeah, for the next fight, we got a light heavyweight bout between Navajo Sterling and Ivan Arslan. Sterling is looking to get another win after his UFC debut last year. We got a good striker who in his first 5 fights got a KO/TKO finish. This guy's very dangerous on the feet. He's just kind of slow, but he's got a lot of finishing potential, and I'm super high on this guy. I believe he might be a top 15 fighter eventually, but that's just my hot take anyway. But he's going up against Ivan Arslan, who's coming off a tough loss in his UFC debut to Ion Cutelaba. So this guy will also be looking for a win to get back in the winning column. That Cutelaba loss isn't too bad. Cutelaba's a beast, and we're going to talk about him here pretty soon. But anyway, for this fight, I think I got Navajo Sterling to win here. And I think Navajo Sterling's going to be able to light this guy up, and eventually we'll find a TKO finish, most likely in the mid/late second round. All right, so for the next fight, we got Modestas Bukauskas versus Ion Cutelaba. Man, mark my words right now, this fight is going to be a banger between these two guys. Bukauskas is coming off a crazy KO finish in Seattle where he lit up his opponent and he looked great in that fight. Then on the other hand, we got Cutelaba, who's also coming off a 2-fight win streak. One of them being a submission, also in Seattle, where he dominated his opponent as well. But like I said, this is going to be a great fight. Modestas Bukauskas is who I think is going to win. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, it's going to be a little biased because it was the first KO that my cousin and I ever witnessed in real life. And that was awesome to watch. And I feel like he's going to light up Ion Cutelaba. Even though Ion Cutelaba is very dangerous on the feet and on the ground. Ion Cutelaba, man, I'm very high on him as well. But it's kind of hard to pick against this guy because this fight can go either way. These guys are pretty evenly matched, but I think Bukauskas is going to be able to get a KO win. I don't think this fight is going to go to the distance. It's going to finish before that one way or another. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cutelaba is able to pull another submission win. But at the same time, I don't think he's going to be able to. Bukauskas is going to get another KO win. Sweet. For the next fight, guys, we got Jessica Andrade versus Jasmine Jasudavicius. However you say your name. Sorry for butchering that. Andrade is coming off a loss to Natalia Silva, who's fighting in this card as well. She's 26-13. She's going up against Jasmine, who's 13-3, coming off a 4-fight win streak with 2 of them being submissions and 2 of them being decisions. Like Ivan Diego and I predicted on our last fights, I'm not going to do any research on any of these ladies. I saw Jasmine fight in her previous bout, and I don't think I've seen Jessica Andrade fight, but we almost went 0-3 for women fights last weekend. So I'm not gonna do no research. I'm just gonna pick whoever I think is gonna win, just based off of the little clips I've seen of both of these ladies and the records. Jessica Andrade, she has obviously more MMA experience, and I don't know, man, movement fights are so unpredictable. I feel like this fight is gonna go one or two ways. Either Jasmine is gonna be able to control Jessica Andrade throughout the fight and pull a decision win, or Jessica Andrade is not gonna give a shite and she's gonna maul down Jasmine and get a TKO win. But oh man, why are these women fights so hard to pick? Anyway, I'm just gonna go with the favorite in Jasmine. I think she's gonna be able to pull a decision win. So yeah, there's nothing else more that I gotta say. So we're moving on to the next fight. Mike Malott versus Charles Radke. This fight is pretty evenly matched up. I'm not sure who to pick on this one as well, guys. Both of these guys are coming off a win. Before that, they lost the fight, and then before that, they were both on a 6-fight win streak. These guys were able to beat everyone else until they fought someone ranked. Mike Malott fought Neil Magny, and Charles Radke fought Carlos Prates. Both of those guys are tough opponents to beat, and that's both of these guys' losses. Malott is coming off a pretty boring fight, pretty slow, very low output, very slow paced, but very patient. This guy knows how to pick his shots, even though his style might be a little boring. Radke's got some clean boxing. He's got a crazy, nasty left hook, and this guy's also very patient. So I can see this fight being very slow, very low output, but one shot is gonna be the deciding factor in this fight. And I think Charles Radke is going to be more patient, and he's going to be able to find another left hook that's going to knock down Mike Malott, and he's going to finish him on the ground with some ground and pound. So yep, that's my pick for this fight. Moving on, we got BSD versus Kyle Prepolek. Man, I feel bad for Prepolek, dude. He's picking up this fight on a week's short notice. He is coming off a 3-fight win streak in the regional scene, but this guy's 0-2 in the UFC. This is such a tough comeback fight into the UFC for him. Benoit Saint Denis is coming off a 2-fight loss streak where he got finished in both of those fights, but he fought Renato Moicano and Dustin Poirier. Those are crazy opponents to fight. But before that, he was on a 5-fight winning streak, being able to finish all of his fights either by KO/TKO or a submission. This is honestly a layup fight for BSD. The sport books reflect this. He's a minus 1,050 favorite. Man, I'm so sad though. That fight against Joel Alvarez was going to be a banger, and it was going to be kind of hard to pick up a winner, but It is what it is. We lost a good fight in a pretty underwhelming fight card anyway in Canada. But I got BSD to win this, probably by a KO/TKO. He needs this win, and I know he's going to get it. I'm super confident in this pick. Alright guys, so for the next fight, we got Alexa Grasso going up against Natalia Silva. Alexa Grasso's coming off a loss to Valentina Shevchenko, where she lost her title. Before that, she was on a 5-fight win streak. We got Natalia Silva, on the other hand, is coming off a 12-fight win streak, 6 submissions, 2 KO/TKOs, and 4 unanimous decision wins. She has a nasty armbar, even though she hasn't been able to pull it off in the UFC so far. But this is going to be a decently fun fight to watch. I'm going to be a little biased here. I'm going to pick Alexa Grasso. She's the Mexican fighter who's coming off a championship fight. She's going to be hungry to come back and get a win. But not forgetting Natalia Silva. She's also going to be hungry for a win. She's on a crazy 12-fight winning streak with 8 finishes. And she's going to also want to jump over this obstacle and beat Alexa Grasso so that maybe she can get a title shot next. But yeah, guys, I don't really got nothing much for my pick. I think I got Alexa Grasso to win, most likely by a decision. That's going to be a close fight, though. All right, guys, for the next fight, we got Jose Aldo versus Ariel Helwani. Ayman Sahabi. Just kidding. But Jose Aldo coming off a loss to Mario Bautista. That was such a boring fight, dude. Screw Mario Bautista. All the homies hate him. We got Ayman Sahabi coming off a fight win streak. 2 of them being KO/TKOs and 3 of them being by unanimous decision. Jose Aldo, what more can I say about this guy? He's a legend in the UFC. I just feel like he's not going to be able to beat Ayman Sahabi. He's older. He's regressing. He's coming off a tough loss to Mario Bautista. To be fair, he did get held up against the cage for the whole fight, basically. But Ayman Sahabi, home crowd, up and comer, is going to want this win super bad. It's going to be a great name for his resume. And I feel like this fight is going to be to build Sahabi up a little bit more and to give the Canadian audience some excited moments with one of their homegrown guys. I don't think he's going to be able to finish Jose Aldo, and I think this is probably going to go the distance. Ayman Sahabi is going to win probably like a 29-28 unanimous decision win. But yeah, this is going to be a super fun fight. It's going to be a lot different from the Mario Bautista that Jose Aldo just fought. And Ayman Sahabi and Jose Aldo are going to scrap. This is probably going to be one of the most fun fights of the night, I think. Alright guys, moving on to the co-main event of the evening. We got Valentina Shevchenko defending her belt against Manon Fiorot. We got Valentina coming off a win over Alexa Grasso. Manon Fiorot is coming off an 11-fight win streak, 5 of them being KO/TKO wins and 6 of them being unanimous decision wins. I don't know, man. I know this is a championship fight and it's most likely going to be a super fun fight to watch. But regardless, for my pick, I don't want to go with the favorite in this one. I think Valentina Shevchenko is going to be able to defend her title against Manon Fiorot. Yes, Manon is on a crazy 5-win streak, but Valentina's got that more MMA and UFC experience. She obviously has more championship experience and more title fights than Manon, by far. But yeah, for my pick, I think I got Valentina. She's going to be able to defend her title and still be the reigning champion in the flyweight division for the women. But alright guys, moving on to the main event of the evening. We got Belal Muhammad versus Jack Della Maddalena. We got Belal Muhammad 24-3 with 1 no contest. He's coming off a 10-fight win streak. He's a bit of a decision merchant with 1 submission and 1 KO. Then we got JDM coming off a 17-fight win streak, 12 KOs, 3 unanimous decision wins and 2 submissions. JDM is probably one of the cleanest, best boxers in the UFC right now. And this guy's boxing is super clean, super fun to watch. He's very dangerous. Just his grappling is the thing that worries me about this fight. In his last fight, he did win, but Gilbert Burns was able to do whatever he wanted with him on the ground. Eventually, JDM got the win there, but that's still worrisome, especially with Belal Muhammad's crazy grappling. I feel like Belal Muhammad is going to get all the takedowns that this guy wants. He's going to be able to take him down whenever, however. And I'm not sure if Belal Muhammad is going to be able to do much with those takedowns, but besides getting his control time. But I think this fight is going to go one of 2 ways. It's either going to be a grappling fest on the ground and Belal Muhammad's going to pull a decision win here, or JDM is going to be able to piece up Belal Muhammad. JDM is definitely more dangerous than Leon Edwards. I can see a world where JDM knocks out Bilal Muhammad, but Bilal Muhammad is so good, super smart, and very patient. For a future sake, I kind of want Bilal Muhammad to win, so that way Islam Makhachev doesn't go up to the welterweight and he stays on the lightweight so that he can fight Ilia Topuria. But even then, nothing's confirmed with Ilia Topuria. I actually think that JDM is going to be able to beat Bilal Muhammad. I think he's going to be able to piece this guy up. That takedown threat is going to be there, but I feel like JDM is going to be able to manage that and be able to control it. And if he does get taken down as the fight goes by, he's going to be able to predict when those takedowns come more effectively. And he's eventually going to be able to KO this guy. There we go. That's my hot take of the night. Or how did they say it? Big balls bet, big balls pick of the card. I don't remember what he said, but that's my pick. JDM to beat this guy by KO/TKO, probably in like the third round, I believe, fourth round. But alright guys, that concludes the picks for this fight card. I wasn't able to have Diego or Ivan join me for this fight breakdown. They were both busy again. Just kind of our schedules have been back and forth. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good rest of your week and have a good weekend and enjoy these fights. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Adios.